Super fascinated by what's going on today in the Aileen Cannon courtroom, finally, or filings that are happening surrounding
can we
that
talk about this
documents
case?
case.
Before we go to RFK, then I'll talk about this.
Okay, sorry.
This woman has no business being on the bench.
No.
Now, it's not a surprise that Trump put her there, but they even said that so he never got fired. He never got charged with the Presidential Records Act. He didn't get charged with that. He got charged with espionage. Mm-hmm. So they're saying that because he's the president, the Presidential Records Act says he gets to keep everything.
Which actually is the opposite.
It's the opposite.
The PRA
The
says.
Presidential Records Act was filed because Nixon was keeping shit he wasn't supposed to keep. And they're like, no, fucker, you can't hold on to shit.
But he's figured out if he just says the name Presidential Records Act, then his people are like, yeah, that means he can keep them records. What's interesting is, so she has refused to make any rulings, which we talked about, because I told you then it's not appealable. So then Jack Smith has nothing to appeal to go above her head and get her off the case.
And she can drag the case way out.
Yes, which she has done. Look at how far down the road we are now.
Right.
But Trump never said his defense and what he's filed has not been that some were his personal documents. But she said this week with this weird ruling, she's asking them to give jury instructions. And
there's no jury, by the way.
There's no trial date.
There's no trial date. There's no jury.
And
we need jury instructions. Did we miss something?
She said option number one, she proposes, is that Trump, under the PRA, can decide which of those records are his personal records.
Right. Totally.
Or
that makes so that makes a lot. So some president can
or
get all the top secret
option
documents.
number two, the jury can see all these top secret nuclear capabilities, all kinds of stuff they should never see, and they can decide which ones they think are his. But what's funny is that wasn't his defense. Because he hasn't even been saying that. He's been going on Hannity and everywhere else saying, he can declassify them with his mind.
But he said, just that I took them out of the White House means they're declassified.
However, we have a recording of him, which he knew he was being recorded. It was with a reporter, and he's showing her a top secret level classified document that was given to him as president under Milley, and it was war strategy. And he's making fun of Milley, going, yeah, look at this. And then he says, I just heard it again before I walked in. He says, I guess I shouldn't be showing you that, though, because it's classified. As president, I could have classified it, but I didn't. So I probably shouldn't be showing you that. So it's off the record.
So right fucking
he
there.
flat out says,
there.
I didn't. I can't
Christ.
show you.
But let's go back to Cannon. So just the two things that she said, the two different classifications. Number one, so this judge who's dealing with the first case of a president, by the way, people don't get this. This happens all the time. They all do it. No, they don't. This is the first guy that's gotten numerous felonies charged against him as ever as president, ever. So, and the three presidents that just had their meeting with Stephen Colbert last week had a little thing at the raised the cashy cash. Yeah. Those guys, none of them, not indicted for anything.
No. And she is concocting just more ways to delay.
But she's not just making shit up. She's making up shit that's not legal. Like Ray's got a criminal justice degree. Ray is so good. Like, we'll be watching TV in the news, and half the shit I say, Ray said while we were in the bedroom. She's go, you can't do that because of this and this. And I'm like,
while we were in the bedroom.
Boom. Yeah. With our computers open and our glasses on.
Talking about Jack Smith. Yeah.
It doesn't get waka waka chicka bow.
Listen to RFK's voice.
So wait. So she said that. This is crazy to me. So the two things she said is that the jury needs to decide whether Donald Trump can okay documents. So a bunch of people, just random fucks, are going civilians are going to decide whether the president can keep or not keep any top secret classified documents. That's number one. Number two is they get to look at everything and Bob, me and him sitting in the jury room going, hey man, holy shit, how many weapons do we got, man?
This whole jury is going to be all Russian guys.
Yes, I
like this idea.
I believe that I can very much rule fairly. Can I see the documents?
What was crazy was
but none of it makes any sense.
Also listening, when this first happened, they interviewed people like Ty Cobb, who had represented Trump, and different legal experts, and even the judge, the conservative judge.
Dingleberry, what's his name?
Starts with an L and 6 letters.
Loser. No, that's
the guy that testified in the J6 hearings. Anyway,
Luddick.
Luddick.
He's cool.
Everyone
I've got used to the way he talks,
person said, well, he sped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the most airtight case. I listened to him saying that even they played bar saying he done fucked up and the case is airtight. He is clearly in violation of the law.
Right.
It's so perfectly laid out by Jack Smith. That's going to be the one that's not appealable. That's it. And somehow he gets this judge that he appointed who had zero trial experience, none. And he put her
same with Comey Barrett.
Somewhere in his state so that he took this case to her. If you guys remember, he moved and filed in her and she got the case. And so now all she's doing is dragging it out. Because remember, she said that they had to appoint a special counsel. Then she got it reversed on that. She's been reversed twice already by the appellate court, two of whom are appointed
Well, Jack
by
Smith
Trump.
filed today, and he goes, you need to rule on this so we can appeal it. But she's not going to. So this goes back to what I always say. And I want to point out the guys that started True Social went on the stock exchange. The two guys that started it have now are being sued by Trump, and they're suing Trump. People, here's what I want everyone to realize. Everybody from that we know that gets involved with this fucking dude gets sued, loses everything, ends up getting drugged through the media. George Conway did today. Remember Kellyanne Conway was the mouthpiece for the Trump administration. Remember that? Where she said, alternative facts.
Yep.
Those are lies. Alternative facts are lies.
Yes.
They divorced. And today, George Conway gave $997,000
to Biden.
$900 and almost $1 million to the Biden campaign.
Wow.
That's, by the way, he was married to the person who was the right-hand man for Trump. And he's like, no, fuck this guy, Biden. So, and we've got, of the 44 people that Trump had on his cabinet, which is crazy, 40 of them have come out of the 44 and said, do not elect this man president. So, at one point, our little tiny podcast is not going to make a difference if the stupid people are the stupids. Can we call them the stupids? I love it.
I always say you big stupids.
The big stupids. The big stupids will keep voting for this dipshit no matter what we say.
Yeah.
So that's why we went after RFK. So RFK, and here's the thing, every angle they're using. So they've tried voter restrictions. Yes. They've tried voter restrictions to get this dude elected.
They didn't try it. They did it.
You're right. They fucking did it. You're absolutely right. They did voter restrictions. They've done, they're limiting voting. They're doing everything they can. They're still claiming that it's, the election was stolen. And the big stupids still believe it. The big stupids are like, yep, it was definite. There was definitely something afoot.